I recently received an email from a company called Mellif Tools asking me if I would be interested in trying out their cordless spray gun. Now, since it's spring and I was planning on spraying our fences very soon, I told them that I'd be very interested in trying it out. I currently have the Wagner W100 spray gun, but one of the most annoying things about this is how short its power cable is. You can barely do a single fence panel without having to keep moving the extension lead. So I thought a cordless solution would be ideal. So in today's video, I'm going to be putting this spray gun to the test and seeing how we get on spraying all the fence panels. Now, I've only got one battery for this and we've got a lot of fence panels in the garden, so I'm not sure how far this is actually going to go. I very much doubt it's going to do all the panels, but I'm going to use it and see how many panels we can get done on a single charge. And then I've got their rapid charger here, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long to recharge the battery and then get the rest of them done. The spray gun comes with some cleaning tools, I'm not actually sure what that is, and 3 different nozzles that you can replace the standard one with 3 different sizes. I'm just going to keep this standard one in for now though. And then it comes with this measuring cup. The first thing you need to do is dilute your paint and then test the flow rate through this. I'm using the Cuprinol Ducksback Garden Paint, which is pretty thick. So I'm going to thin it down with some water, run it through here and see how long this cup takes to empty, and then I can adjust it accordingly. You want this measuring cup to empty at between a minute and 80 seconds according to the manufacturer. So I'm starting with about 1/3 water in here, and then I'm going to pour in some of the paint, I'll mix it up and then I'll test the flow rate. You can see how thick this is though. Now I'm just going to mix this up just with this little paint mixer. Oh, that doesn't sound healthy. You might be on your way out. That's probably thinned at about 50-50 now because I obviously haven't filled that. So let's fill this. And what you do is you put your finger over the end to obviously stop it running out. Put it in there, take your finger off and then start timing. So I'm going to get my timer out. Not sure the best way of doing this, but I'm just going to crudely do it like this. Then press start, take my finger off. We'll see how fast this empties. I think that's way too thick. It's coming out pretty slow, but we'll time it and we'll see. You just hook it onto the edge of there. So that took way too long, so I've thinned it down again just with a bit more water. Once you've done this a couple of times, you're not going to have to do this every time because you're going to know the sort of consistency that you need on the paint. So slightly annoying if you had to do it every time, but once you know the consistency, you can just obviously fill the gun and go from there. That looks much better. It is worth doing this step as well because if your paint is too thick, you're going to have a nightmare spraying it. It's just going to be coming out with sort of lumps and stuff. And if it's too thin, you're obviously going to have to spray about 5 coats to get proper coverage. Okay, so that's just over a minute and we're just getting down to the bottom now. As you can see, it's just dripping now. So I think that's about spot on. So we'll call that done. I'll get this filled and then we can start spraying. Just quickly before I start spraying, this sprayer can be bought to fit either the DeWalt or Makita battery platforms, or you can use the Mellif battery system if you prefer. This is the Mellif battery that fits the DeWalt system. So I'm going to be spraying all of our fence panels because this paint is a slightly different colour to what we used before. I'm hoping that it only needs 1 coat though, but I've got a feeling it's probably going to need 2. Okay, so I've just finished spraying all of the fence panels, and I actually managed to spray 20 fence panels on a single battery. So I've managed to spray all of the panels that are on view. The only ones left are the ones down the side of the office, which I'm not going to bother spraying because you can't actually really see them. I did manage to get away with one single coat, which is good. The new paint actually dries quite a lot darker, so it dries a similar colour to the previous paint. So you can't really tell on the fence panels any differences between the old and the new colours. So onto the spray gun. I'm actually well impressed with this. Like I say, managed to spray 20 fence panels with one single battery charge. I didn't expect it, like I said before, to last anywhere near that much. I thought it was going to charge it at least once spraying those panels, but like I say, it did all of that on this single 4 amp hour battery. Now, if I was spraying any more than those 20 panels, I probably would have wanted a bit of a break anyway. So using the rapid charger to charge it whilst having a little rest wouldn't really have been a big deal anyway. In terms of the spray gun, it's actually pretty similar to this Wagner one. Obviously these are half dismantled currently from cleaning them. What was significantly noticeable though with this Mellif one compared to the Wagner is the Wagner has a lot of overspray. It really does get everywhere. You've pretty much got to wash the patio down afterwards because the overspray gets everywhere, whereas this one seemed to be much more accurate and it didn't really have much overspray at all. My only minor complaint with this is the paint reservoir is obviously quite small. It's only about 1 litre that you can fit in here, but that is pretty much the standard size for these spray guns. If it was any bigger, you'd need a separate paint reservoir with a hose coming up to it, or it would become a bit big and heavy for using it. In terms of price, this sprayer costs just under £45 if you use the code RENODAN. I'll leave a link down below so that you can purchase it if you're interested. If you need a battery and a charger as well, they cost between £36 and £44, depending on whether you choose the DeWalt compatible one like this or the Makita compatible one. There's 2 different versions of the spray gun too. This is the DeWalt compatible one, obviously yellow DeWalt, and I think the other one is green, which would make sense for the Makita compatible one. So if you already run DeWalt or Makita, you can use this spray gun with your existing batteries. I don't run either of those systems, so I've got the Mellif battery, but if I had any DeWalt batteries, I could run them with this system. So all in all, for the tool and the battery and charger, you're looking at roughly about £90 or just under, which I think is a pretty decent price for this. If you consider the corded Wagner option that I bought was £50, and I think you're probably looking at pushing £200 if you're going to buy the Wagner cordless system. So for this one, you're looking at less than half the price. Now, I haven't tried the Wagner cordless version to compare the two, but if I was comparing the Wagner W100, which is this corded system, with this, I would say that this is a much better option for you. The cordless is a benefit obviously, but if you take away this being corded and this being cordless, this is a better quality spray gun. This one, the overspray and the accuracy just isn't quite as good. Plus, if you take into account with this one, if you haven't already got a decent extension lead, you're going to have to buy one. When we first got this spray gun and first did all of our fences, we had to buy a, I think it's 45 meter long extension lead, which if you bought one recently, you know, aren't exactly very cheap. So you're going to have to factor that into the cost if you don't have an extension lead, if you've got a fairly big garden. So overall, I'm very, very happy with this new sprayer. And this is now going to definitely be replacing this corded one, which will now be handed on to someone else to use. I was also cheeky and asked Mellif if they would send me one of their cordless routers, which as you can see they did, and this also fits the exact same battery. So keep an eye out on the channel because I'm also going to be reviewing this cordless router. If you've enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. The aim is to try and hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, so if you subscribe, it'll really be helping me out. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.